32 René Quilindo, case 301 Patrick Lablache, case 0149 Walter Ruglari, and Marie Zilantin.
Thank you. Can you please call the next witness?
Mr. David Savvy.
Maybe we can have some water for the witness too. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Savvy. Thank you for appearing before the Commission today. Nice to see you again. The Commission called you in case 301, Patrick Lablache, not the land one, the other one, yes, the one from Pryland. So we heard yesterday actually from Teet Moran about his alleged involvement in the taking over of Pryland, the Pryland Republic, yes, in which he was held in detention for 48 days, alleged to have been involved in that plot. And he claims that when he was released from prison, his taxi license was revoked, and that you went to President Rene on his behalf and explained his case. And as a result, President Rene allowed him to have his taxi license back. So the Commission would be grateful if you could give any evidence at all in relation to that.
I've been racking my brain and since I received that letter. And what year was that he was detained? Because I'm trying to position myself as to what I was doing at that time. If possible, I was a pilot, flying domestic. Was it the early 80s or?
Yeah, I think it's either between the end of, well, for Teet Moran said between the end of 1979 and beginning of 1981.
Okay, if it was around 81, I remember I was one of the very first pilots with a few others who started flying domestically and took over from the expatriate pilots, because after the mercenary invasion in 1981, which was I think was November 81, the expatriate pilots wanted danger money, and the management asked them to leave, and we got the first bunch of pilots, of which I was one of them, to fly between Mahé and Praslin. It's
1982.
Well, 82, well, around that time. So it would have possibly happened at the time, and there were very few of us flying, maybe 2 or 3 only qualified to be able to, or had the licenses or the experience to fly between Mahé and Praslin. So I would have been a frequent flyer to Praslin, and I do remember we used to often position there to start early morning flights because there was no lights on Praslin, and the runway was just a red earth strip, and actually the terminal was an old cow shed. So some of you might remember this. And I would have then obviously come into contact with him. I know him from the fact that I think later on when I was CEO of Seychelles, or even before, we employed him. Well, we employed him. We used his services to carry our staff, collect our staff early morning or drop them after. And he worked for us for a very long time. But for the life of me, I honestly cannot remember meeting. Did he say he met with me, or he did say? I honestly don't remember. I'm sure I met him if I was flying to Praslin and overnighted, and he did carry me he was also married to one of our pilots. One of our pilots, his sister was married to him. So it's possible we had this conversation. Is it possible I spoke to Mr. Roney? Maybe, maybe not. But I have to be honest, I can't take credit for something that I can't remember. You know, I've sworn to speak the truth, and I'm telling you the truth. I honestly can't remember. But I do know Mr. Lablache.
Would you be able to ring the president and put someone's case forward to him and get him to change his mind on something?
I wouldn't ring him, and I would, as I mentioned, I had access to him because he was a part of the family, and we would meet possibly for lunch every Sunday. And it's possible I would have, it is possible, but I honestly can't remember, pleaded his case.
So he actually says that his brother-in-law was a friend of yours, and he tried to pass the message through you, through David Savvy.
Well, if it's a brother-in-law or the pilot,
yes,
I'm thinking.
I actually gave it to him.
I called the pilot, who's a good friend of mine, and asked him, do you remember? And he says he remembered the time, but he certainly does not remember ever talking to me about this. And actually, I called him this morning because I was trying to situate, and he couldn't even remember the dates. That's why I asked you the dates. But it's true, in that period, 81, 82, 83, and maybe even up to 84, 85, I was flying between Mahe and Praslin as a pilot. And I would have had contact with Mr. Lablache.
Did you hear about the Republic of Praslin?
At the time, yes, it was a bit of a, I think there was even a radio program done about it. I don't know if you have access
We're
to
trying to get access to it, yeah.
and where they had interviews, and it became a, oh, listen, it was a bit of a joke. In the sense, in the eyes of the people, everybody was laughing about, you for a small island like Praslin to succeed, have a secession from Mahe, and how would they exist?
Enough about it. But it's very amusing, but
It was, well, I assure you, it was amusing at the time. Well, listen, it was serious at the same time, amusing, because I think at the time there was a question of even executing people or something to that effect. That
Team
was,
Moran was going to be executed by being hung upside down and executed.
yeah.
I mean, but the radio show, if you recall, was the radio show like a serious radio show? This is a real threat.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
You see, as I said before, you have to put yourself in the context of the time. 1981, we had the mercenary attack. 82, we had the rebellion. And tourism crashed. I think it crashed by 40% in 83. And this is why Seychelles was created, because airlines pulled out. And obviously, the authorities were very sensitive to anything that destabilized or would have caused bad publicity for the country, because we were struggling to get the economy back on its feet after a huge hit in 1982.
So after did the mercenary attack impact a lot on tourism?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So
the
that
airport was completely shut up. Airlines pulled out. And Seychelles was known to be a very unstable country, and we obviously got a lot of bad press out of it, and we suffered immensely in the early 80s. And it took quite a while for Seychelles to get back on its feet in terms of tourism. And that I can say out of certainty. I do remember the authorities were intent of never trying to allow any kind of major upheaval to happen again. So to answer your initial question, yes, it's possible that they took it very seriously, although we laugh about it today. They took it very seriously because it was seen as a destabilizing event.
the army rebellion was within 6 months after it was
No,
August, so a little longer.
November 81 was it?
Yeah.
What? It was 9 months after.
9 months.
And it was 25th November, and then in August, 9 months, 82, yeah. And this Republic Parliament must have been just after, I guess, or around that time. But in context of that time, it was a very tense. People were very jumpy and very nervous.
So before the army rebellion, had there been a recovery in tourism?
No.
And no.
No.
So
No,
then it just took longer to recover.
a very long time.
So how long do you think it took to recover from that incident, from the army rebellion?
What happened is, well, the army rebellion was far a lot bloodier than the mercenary. The mercenary coup, if you wish, attempted coup, or even the coup. And in 1983, because the airlines pulled out, a lot of the airlines, I remember British Airways pulling out, the time it was Lufthansa pulling out, and a number of airlines, suddenly tourism dropped by 40%. I don't remember the figures, and I don't have the figures with me. Dropped dramatically, and if I'm not mistaken, President Rene either took the portfolio Ministry of Tourism himself, or he was the Minister of Tourism at one stage. I can't remember exactly when. And he then decided with the then chairman of Air Seychelles, which was a domestic operator, Mr. Guy Morel, to start international operations. And they leased a British Caledonian aircraft initially, because the airlines had pulled out for the fact that people were not coming. And our main market was the European, British market at the time. And it did take a few years, I would say 2 to 3 years before it really got its feet on the ground, off the ground.
We heard that this fellow, the Duc de Bourbois, as he called himself, benefited from free flights, the boat trips.
Sorry?
The guy who organized the Republic of Praslin, a fellow called Gautier.
From
Duc de
free
Bourbon.
flights, domestic flights? Or?
Yeah, domestic Praslin to here and back. And I wonder whether you ever met him, whether he flew with you.
It's possible he flew with me. To tell you, at the time, at one stage, there were only 2 pilots flying this whole program. I remember starting at 5:30 in the morning and finishing at 7 at night. In those days, there weren't flight time limitations. And it's quite possible, I'm sure he would have, practically everybody who flew to Praslin at that time would have flown with me, but I don't honestly remember him.
He didn't have an Air Force in his plans for Praslin.
Is he still around, this gentleman?
Yeah, he's in England.
He's in jail. Here?
No, in England, in jail.
Well, he tried to take
Last
over
I
the
heard.
country.
I mean, we're trying to get to speak to him, but we haven't had any luck so far. But we know he's in jail in
But
England.
listen, in hindsight, I guess everybody was very nervous at the time. It's possible that maybe we took it too seriously. In hindsight, now we laugh about it. But at the time, the atmosphere was very, very tense. I think there was a lady as well who was, yes, okay.
It seems, on the evidence we've received, that he, the young, charming man, sort of conned her in a way, you know. According to Mr. Tite Miron, he was cunning enough to get a considerable number of men and women, including her, to sign up to this.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's my analysis of the attempted coups. I think there's just another one, a gentleman who's just been imprisoned in the States now, where they were talking about who had been involved in trying to set up, to overthrow the government here. I'll send you the information that I have received, but that would have appeared that was post multi-party. But you see, a number of people would have partook in overthrowing the country, not for ideological reasons and so forth, but to have access to countries either for criminal activities, money laundering or other activities, or for self-enrichment. And I'm sure you've come across a number of stories of attempted coups or planned attempted coups. A lot of them never happened. I would say the large majority of them never came to fruition. Either they were discovered or they fell by the wayside.
I mean, it's quite extraordinary that there were, you know, from my perspective, I was very surprised that you hear of one and then there's another and then there's another group and then there's an internal one, which they deny, the internal one. But, you know, it was a lot of attempts to overthrow.
I've never documented. Yes, there was a lot in the sense that each time there was a high tension. I was in the army. We were put on what we call standby. So we weren't always told why, but it was a heightened alert where we had to live on camp and have the full force, or we were asked to have enhanced patrolling. I was a pilot. We had an aircraft with radar which we patrolled. So I would say in a period of time, sometimes it was 3 times a year or so maybe. I can't remember which years. So can't tell you exactly what the threat was, but yes, there was a lot.
We've also been told in some contexts that there was also a number of attempts to assassinate the president. Did you ever hear of anything like that? Somebody told us that somebody put grenades everywhere to blow him up, or they were going to poison the water. That was another one we heard.
Yes, well, yeah. Well, I didn't live at where the president lived. I lived in my own place, but obviously my mother was there, so I would go there. And there were instances where the issue of the water, yes. I think there was where somebody owned up to have a soldier himself, said that he had been approached. On the issue of attempted, yes, the president would occasionally, he had a vehicle, he would have somebody who looked in his stature and so forth that would have stood for him. And because he was a man of habit, he went almost to the minute the time he went down and the time he went up. And he would sometimes not be in the car he was supposed to be in. Don't hold me to it, but I think there might have been an instance where there are a number of bridges, small bridges, fairly frail bridges leading up to Sans Souci, where there would have maybe been attempts to put explosives. I know measures were taken where whenever he traveled up and down, soldiers were strewn along the road, not visible.
Monsieur Savi, people out there are asking, could you please speak in Creole? And
Yes. I was on Creole, but I saw in the letter you said the language of this proceeding is in English.
Yeah.
So I was following your request.
But
Okay, n'a pas problème.
So so you did say he had a body double, is that right? Someone who looked like him that would sit in the car ready to take the bullet.
Oui, well, oui, il y en a du monde dans son sécurité même qui tient un peu clair pareil, un peu dans son gabarit, qui est parfois assise dans son place. Et pas nécessairement chaque fois, il assise dans son transport, il assise dans un autre transport, à cause qu'il y a plusieurs transports dans son escorte.
pas le transport ordinaire aussi, on pas connaître c'est dit même.
Well, son transport normalement, il y en a un jeep là, mais avec soldat derrière. Et il y en a un transport devant son loto, après il y en a son loto.
I might have asked you this question before, but I've forgotten the answer, so I'm going to ask you again. What you said he was a creature of habit, so he'd always leave at the same time, and would he go to the same places? I mean, we've heard that he used to leave. He wouldn't go to State House. He'd go to Maison du Peuple first and meet people, and then he'd go to State House. I mean, did he? What time would he
Normalement,
leave?
si mon pas trompé, il quitte dans la cour. Normalement, il lève d'abord matin entre 4h et 4h30. Il y a de la cuisine, il y a la cuisine, il y a une espèce un bout de bureau, il travaille jusqu'à à peu près 6h30. Et puis, 7h10, il quitte la case. Normalement, il est direct State House, il va dire mon State House, mais il y en a un jour, moi crois, il y en a un jour dans la semaine quand il fait, ça s'appelle les cliniques, quand il voit du monde. Après, il y a un meeting, peut-être comité central, ou soit un meeting parti, Maison du Peuple. Et à soir, normalement, je ne me rappelle si c'est 4h30, je crois plutôt 4h30 ou soit 5h. Pile, il arrive dans la cour. Et il dormit bonheur, à cause il lève bonheur aussi. 8h30, il dormit. Sont seuls les autres. Les demandes il n'y a pas de la paix, à cause il y a un problème la peau avec soleil, mais parfois, peut-être une fois tous les 2 mois, ou soit il compte à la piste, ou soit, et bien, après, il est en vacances. La plupart du temps, il est à l'Urbanzil. Il patient pour entertainer, ou soit pour recevoir, ou pour aller à l'hôtel, etc. Mais la question, si il y a la Maison du Peuple, il y en a son secrétaire, mais quoi, la plupart, il y a encore là. Vous êtes capable, peut-être, si vous interrogez, vous êtes capable de dire, donner un peu plus de détails.
Thank you, Mr. Savvy. Given you can't remember with respect to Mr. Lavash, but helpful anyway. So we have no further questions for you unless you have anything you would like to add.
Non, pas vraiment. Dommagement, par rappel, sa caisse, M. Lablache, mais on donne d'autres circonstances dans les temps qui peut-être y en a une possibilité, mais franchement, mon pas rappel.
I mean, we can possibly find out from the licensing guy that was there at the time. We did have him, I think it was Mr. Revier. I think we've had him before, and he has given us evidence of receiving a call to reinstate a license.
Oui,
yeah.
difficilement, il travaille après à cause de notre employé. Et par exemple, ils amènent une restriction, pas service en service, ou soit pour victimiser, ça pas si les cas.
Great. So thank you very much. Is the next witness here, do we know? Well, we will adjourn for the COVID-19 procedures. But thank you very much, Mr. Savvy. We will see you again, I'm sure, throughout our mandate. But thank you.
Good luck.
All right.
Bye. Can you please call the hearing number for the record?
This is Commission hearing number 87 of Thursday, 9th of July 2020 in case 90 Livet Hermit, case 232 René Kilendo, case 301 Patrick Lablache, and case 149 Roderick Larry and Maryse Ilantin.
Thank you. Can you please call the next witness?
Mr. Roland Jetrid.
Thank you, Mr. Zertud, for appearing before the Commission today. We're grateful to you for coming. The Commission called you because you were named in the evidence of the complainants in case 0149, Maryse Ilantin and Roderick Larue, as one of the persons who may have information about what happened to their son, Demetra, who was killed between the 4th and the 5th of March 2007. And it was alleged that one of your relatives was involved, and that's why you might have knowledge. So that's why the Commission's called you, if you can provide us with any evidence at all, if you know anything about what happened to Demetra. Thank you.
No. No.
Alors, Monsieur, j'ai été commission ici, ou comme ça, pour dire qu'on a créé ici devant à cause, on a une mentionné comme quoi, capable de dire qu'on a l'information, et on a mentionné pas Madame Maryse Ilantin, dit pour dire que, ou capable l'information, les son gars sont tirés entre les 4 et les 5 mars, et il y a une possibilité aussi, quelquefois, qu'il y a une famille qui est inclue là-dedans, et c'est pour la raison qui est là ici.
Mon pas au courant, seulement. Mon temps parler de mon petit peu cause des autres pays.
O cas adresse commission, adresse là, est peu posé.
OK.
Merci.
So you're not aware, you've just heard what people were saying here
Yes.
or outside or
Outside.
outside?
Yes.
At the time that Demetra was killed?
Yes. I heard people say it was.
Uh-huh. What they think happened
Yeah,
to him. Okay.
Dieu nous qui on entend nous?
Well, par il y en a des gens qui peut raconter, qui peut dire c'est pas. Il y a pas ben des gens qui à cause il y en a des gens qui cause qui dit c'est pas d'amen toi fatigué vos autres casiers, ben quelque chose comme ça. Comme ça qui m'a entendu moi.
Were you a good friend of Demetra?
Yes.
Yeah.
Il pas rien fait pour moi.
Did he ever talk to you about getting a car or getting a house?
No.
No. Are you a fisherman too?
Yes.
Vous habitez à la paix ensemble?
Non. Ça quand tu dans son bateau.
Mais
Il
c'est
est
mon
dans son
outil.
bateau, maman tient un pour moi.
C'est mon autre joint souvent.
Oui, souvent nous utilisons
Mais
comme
ça
ça.
des 3 jours ou bien la veille qui après il disparaît tout petit joint éclit.
Non. À mon bon temps là, mon
Quand dernière fois.
comme si ça bon temps qu'il est comme si qu'il nous tuait la piste là. Mon tuait la piste avec son beau-frère. Avec Marc Cédric. Mon tuait la piste avec lui, mon bon temps. Nous partisans ni bien comme si pareil que nous besoin ni là. Là nous finir la piste dans soir. Là nous pouvons vendre nos poissons, nous ca joindre ni comment. À part ça comme si nous
Quand dernière fois tu joint lui.
Jamen droit quand dernière fois moi besoin ni à peu près 3 jours avant qui nous pas ni encore qui sont disparu comme si qui nous pas aller encore 3 jours avant.
So he was accused of stealing people's fish traps. Was he involved in any drugs? Did he take drugs at all?
No.
Ou tande pour dire tu gagnes tout ya cause vol casier du monde.
Oui, comme si combien bandit moun tu peux raconter comme si.
Oui, mais pas tu dis lesquels ça dit qui sont casier gagne volé qui présent
Non.
personne pas gagne.
Apportant plusieurs PC au canal. C'est à qui de temps en temps on est complète. Ça ne gagne perdu son casier, l'autre ne perdu son casier, l'autre ne perdu. Comme je sais pas pourquoi qu'on est qui n'arrive. Comprends-moi?
Mais les courants aussi tu casier.
Arrivé, ouais. Seulement, je mets blâme les autres camarades, ben l'accusation est venue comme ça. Comme ça, de temps en temps, il est arrivé, d'aider le salé.
Et là où tu la pêche, c'est plutôt top casier qui la pêche avec la ligne.
Yes.
And are you a friend of Jemmy Marengo's?
Jamie dit mon petit. Comme si que mon cas expliqué. Avant ça, il tient dans son bateau. Mon frère qui tient le petit temps casier ensemble.
Bena
Qui tient casier après. Mon là, mon petit peu commencer à aider le salé. Comme si mon frère, nous avons aidé l'eau ensemble comme ça. Présentement, même qui est mon jeune Jamie. Comme si de temps en temps, il y a un petit ouvrage pour lui. On vient, on fait mon petit ouvrage pour lui comme ça que nous bien avec camarades nous.
nous pas tant rien comme si.
Non.
Mais qui mérite l'idée.
Non.
So Jemmy would also go fishing. He's a
No,
he's not. No.
Il pas.
Bernard would go in his boat.
Seulement là, tu arrives ça bon incident. Et tu arrives ça bon incident avec Damendra là. Jamie tu fini vendre son bateau li. Tu n'as pas bateau encore, tu fini vendre son bateau.
So the fishermen that were complaining about their fish traps being stolen, you heard that they might be responsible for what happened to Demetra. Did I understand correctly, or?
Pede manu si pari un di pour dire que ça ban PC qui type des autres cases nga volé ça que tu betande ou quoi pour dire qu'ils autres responsables pour ça qui n'arrive avec Damendra.
Ouais, mon pas capable to assurer si
Tu tandis qu'il parlait, demandait tu amènes poisson pour M. Jémy Marengo. On a déjà suivi un cas comme ça que tu amènes poisson, M. Marengo venait ce poisson en bord de l'eau salée, comme ça.
Comme si.
À cause nous t'entendais ici qu'il parlait, demandait tu amènes poisson côte Jémy.
Oui.
Ok, on a déjà suivi un cas comme ça, une transaction comme ça? Non.
Il y a disparement, il vient, il amène.
Ok.
Il amène son poisson. Il amène, il donne Jamie paye son.
Il paye lui?
Oui, il paye son paquet de poisson. Il y a allé comme ça. Alors, si ils ont une commande, comme si c'est pas, ils m'emmènent un paquet de poisson pour vous, ils amènent, les vignes, ils payent son l'argent. Ils payent son poisson, comme si.
Mais je ne vais pas déjà le bateau ici pour l'acheter poisson, non. Merci.
Je n'ai pas tout à aller bon en mer.
On dit nous plus bonheur, tu as fait un petit ouvrage, côte Jamie.
Yes.
Par exemple, quoi? Quelle qualité l'ouvrage?
Comme si l'ouvrage côte la case, comme si. Nettoyer, faire un petit ouvrage côte lui.
Ou avec vos frères?
Oui, mon frère, il a de l'eau salée.
C'est plutôt la pêche.
Mon parle, moi, c'est un petit ouvrage à terre comme ça. Après, les Jamie vendent son bateau. mon frère n'a arrêté. Mon la temps en temps comme si. On continue à faire mon bon petit ouvrage.
OK.
Par exemple, moi aussi, mon bateau. Je continue à demander le salaire. C'est maintenant que quand même un petit ouvrage, quand ils fait mon ouvrage, ils m'ont fini. Moi, allez, mon marché, moi, comme si je ne pas resté là pour mon.
Encore l'interne, des fois, bandi vont causer dans la commission ici. Est-ce que vous croyez qu'on déjà demandé quoi de fréquente gémi dans la famille? Il y a la fréquentation dans la famille, comment c'est quoi gémi? Non. Quelque part, alcool gémi, un petit bonjour, un petit bonsoir, on peut déjà voir ça, non?
Dès qu'il a.
Je demanderai pas de fréquente gémi.
Non.
Pas voir ça.
Non.
Non, quand le parle de écoute bandi du monde.
Non, il n'est pas venu comme ça.
Il n'est pas venu comme ça, ok.
Non. Pas venu.
Le temps où tu travailles, écoute, monsieur Marengo, les IPU, là, quand vous travaillez pour lui?
Yes. Il y a mon IPU, mon.
L'IPU.
Oui.
Le temps où tu travailles là-bas, est-ce que tu remarques que tu as un bloc moteur?
Non, je ne pas faire remarque. Je ne pas faire ça remarque. Hein.
Jamais vous trouvez un bloc moteur dans la cour là-bas?
Quelle qualité moteur comme ça?
Un moteur auto?
Non.
Un bloc machine?
Non. Je ne pas faire remarque. Je ne pas faire remarque. Hein.
Vous connaissez Marc Poul?
Marc Poul?
Oui.
Je connais.
Il dit souvent.
Il est driver, Jamie, parler. Ils sont driver. Je connais comme ça.
Pas Becky qui est driver, Jamie?
Oui, mon cas, tu travailles ensemble, quoi.
Vous connaissez que des autres qui travaillent? Qui travaille les autres fait?
Oui, Jamie, je connais comment il y a des officiers de l'armée. Mais pour moi, je connais comment il y a des drivers. Je ne sais pas contre son ouvrage qui fait. Je connais pas les vignes, il y a des drivers. Je connais comment il y a des drivers, c'est tout.
Comment est-ce que tu apprends que dans le droit de mort?
C'est ça, les bonnes attivations de l'école.
Lesquels du monde qui demandent le mot?
Ben ça, les moitié en ville, moi, avec Marc Cédric, avec son sœur Nathalie. Nous étions en ville ensemble à Zou. Après-midi, Marc tu parles côté, il vend une bonne pièce machine là-bas, machine toi dessous. Son sœur tu gagne l'école. Je sais pas si tu es à l'école d'Amendra. Là qui nous est au courant.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Ça trois du monde tu ensemble? Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Quand tu gagnes une nouvelle, qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Nous allons guetter. Nous monte côté son maman. Côté rester les rochers, nous tu monte là-bas côté autres.
Après là où tu as guetté l'école ou?
Mon pas chal guetter l'école moi. Mon pas chal guetter.
Où tu as l'enterrement?
Oui, moi tu allé son enterrement, oui.
Où tu as aussi dans le cimetière?
Oui, moi tu donnes la même son cercueil tout.
Tu as quelque chose qui t'est arrivé dans le cimetière après?
Ouais, le montagne bandit, il fait bonne confusion, ça qui nous joue, les autres nous jouent, entre les autres. Mon panto occupe ça bonne quelque chose, moi. Comment moi tu viens pour moi venir sur l'enterrement?
Est-ce que tu as du monde, tu peux montrer où les doigts?
Non. À cause moi tu fréquentes d'autres familles, moi. Il y en a un de mon frère, il y avait qu'un son sœur. Un de mon frère Gérald, il y avait qu'un son sœur comme si. La plupart du temps, moi tu connais d'autres autres, moi. Comme si moi tu bien avec lui, comme si pas rien frère, comme si. Comme si nous ne pas rien famille ensemble, mais nous vivons comme si.
Vous n'avez aucun l'impression que Damandra est en quelque connexion avec certains partis politiques ou bien certains les autres projets.
Non,
qui...
parti quand on fait quelque chose qu'on va aller. Comme si parti quand on va aller faire une fréquentation comme si, mais par contre, plus loin.
Et tu comptes causer?
Faire face comme si. C'est pas il est dans la zone comme le bol, mais on a fait nous face, on a causé, on a dialogué normal comme ça. C'est seulement pour des affaires politiques. Non. Comme si pas tout autre bon grand activiste, comme si pour lui faire quelque chose comme ça.
Thank you very much for coming today, Mr. Gertrude. We don't have any further questions for you, unless you have anything you would like to add.
No, okay.
Thank you very much. You're free to
Okay.
go. Thank you.
Merci.
Let's see. We will adjourn and we will return at 3 o'clock for Mr. Gill. Thank
All
you.
rise.